Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, June the 13th, 2007. It's 5:33. This meeting is now under session. Vicki, could you lead us in prayer, please? Christine, I'm sorry.
Vicki at school tonight.
Eternal Father, we praise you and we thank you for being here with us today. We ask that you send your Holy Spirit and fill this room with your peace. We ask you to guide the board with the decisions that will be made here today. Holy Father, we ask you to fill us and our families with many blessings and graces and grant the special requests of our hearts. In the name of Jesus we pray.
Amen. Amen. Commissioner Benavides, would you join us on the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Mart, next item.
Item number 2, public audience. Do we have anyone signed up to speak for an item?
Yes.
Yes.
We have Mr. Arturo Chapa with Chapa Shrimp Trawlers. Go ahead.
My name's Arturo Chapa, sir, and I'm in the agenda, I believe, for consideration of eviction. I want to use the property at the Shrimp Basin. And I just wanted to let y'all know that I had approached Ms. Debbie Duke back in April. I had made arrangements to make some payments on the lease, and they were going to lend me out some money to the financial institution. But once they found out that the boats were still docked and they were not ready to go, they kind of told me that they can't do nothing until the boats were out running. So unfortunately, my boats are already out fishing, and they'll be back by the beginning of this month. And mid of this month, and I just wanted to let the board know maybe that you could consider to wait to see how I can catch up and make the payments.
Okay.
That's what I want to let y'all know.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chapa. Next item, Ms. Mart.
Item number 3, receive interim court director's report. Just like to report that, as all of you know, we were going to start the new process for our overweight permits. It was going to be an online service. We started that as of June 1st. There were a few bugs in the system, and there continue to be a few bugs, but we're working through that as we go. And overall, the system is working pretty well. Most of the companies that come in are the mom and pop companies, and so we're having to do a lot of that work ourselves. So we did hire, normally periodically in the summer we hire students from local schools, and so we did hire a local student to help out back there, and it's working out well. Also, Hector in the engineering department has an A&M student, an engineering student that's helping him out over the summer get some jobs going that we had pending. So that process is going very well, so hopefully it'll continue that way.
Ms. Emart, on the amount of permits, is it still steady? Is it the same amount that we had before, or is that changing because of the new system?
Well, it's a little different because in our old system, they could come in and buy 100 permits at a time or 1,000 permits at a time. And this is a little different. They kind of bank their credits, and then they go online and they, just work from their, fund balance. So it's not like we're really issuing 100 permits in one day. So that is a little different, but it's all going to come out in the same. It's just a little different process. I know that some of you have seen in our transfer of monies, y'all all sign transfer checks. Well, when people come in and they buy these permits, or they give us the money, and then we in turn have to wire transfer to the company who's issuing the permits. So y'all have seen that y'all have had to sign a lot more wire transfers than normal, and that's kind of a glitch in our system. And so what we've been doing is just getting amounts of those signed so that Mr. Lopez doesn't, have to run 10 errands in one day with those wires. But that's a little inconvenient right now, but we're just trying to get the system worked out where it works on a more even flow. But it'll all be about the same. Also, I wanted to just report on our GPAA conference that we held at South Padre Island. we had one of the best turnouts that GPAA has ever had. We had almost 100 people there, which is kind of unheard of. That's all the Gulf ports, and 4 Mexican ports showed up. And so it was really kind of a historic meeting. They all had a good time, and several of the commissioners joined us, and I appreciate that very much. But we had a great crowd, and they want to do it again next year, but I think we'll hold out for a few years on that. Also, I've been approached. The port owns a piece of property which is located directly behind this office building. We call it the Port Office Complex. And I've been approached by someone who's very interested in purchasing that piece of property. So I'm just going to hand out to y'all the particulars on that property, our revenue, how much we paid for it, the renovations that we've made, to kind of get a feel from the board to see if, yes, we are interested, not selling the land, just the building only, so that I can get back to those parties and they can order an appraisal and see what kind of offer can be made on it. In the past when we've taken property back or when we've bought assets, we have sold buildings before. We sell them all the time in the fishing harbor. We sell them here in the port complex. So it would not be something out of the ordinary that by selling this complex that we have not done in the past. So just if you look that over and give me your thoughts on that so I can get back to the individuals. Also, next week we're going to be out of town from the 19th to the 22nd. We have a commissioner seminar that several of us are traveling to. And just wanted to report briefly, we had another incident last night on our crane. Our crane operator hit a vessel and did some damage on the vessel. But we finished working the vessel and it left last night to go on to its next port, so we should be receiving some damage reports on that. But Joe Garza has met with the operator, and we're going to be trying to do some functional assessments on the operator, on the crane, on our procedures, so that hopefully this won't happen again. We had an incident just a couple of months ago.
Same operator?
Same operator, yeah. So we're working to get that fixed.
Were the damages repaired, Ms. Seamard?
No, they'll be repaired in New Orleans. They were going on to the next port so they wouldn't hold the vessel over.
Yeah, we had another ship due to come in Dock 15, so we needed to get that ship out of the way.
Okay.
And just, George had a training exercise this morning, a communication. It was with the city, the county, all the different agencies. George, you might report briefly.
We had 40 different agencies from Tri-County, the Willacy County, Hidalgo County, and Cameron County. It was a state exercise. It was a communication exercise. And we did have 40 different cities that were involved. And they picked the Port of Brownsville to do it at, and it's a 2-day exercise. Cameron County had their Emergency Operations Center going. The City of Brownsville had their Emergency Operations Center going full blast. We had ours here at the fire department with the fire department and joined with the fire department. Everybody brought their command centers with all their communication, and what it is, it's a new system that in fact where our grant is something we're going to be purchasing, is to be able to patch in and communicate with everybody. The problem we've always had in drills is that we can't talk to anybody. The DPS can't talk to city, and the cities can't talk to the sheriff's office. That's what this is. They set up a satellite, and they ought to, from this satellite, they patch in all the cities together, so everybody can talk on one frequency. And it worked out real good, and we're going to finish it off tomorrow. So I can come see it. We're set up right here across the street at the fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Gavito.
That's all I have.
Good. Next item.
Item number 4, consider an action on the following consent agenda items. A, approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of May 23rd, 2007, and special board meeting of May 30th, 2007. B, approval to authorize payments over $25,000. Item number 1, Blue Cross Blue Shield monthly premium, $43,843.89. 2, Siemens Financial Services monthly lease rental payment for the mobile harbor crane, $28,564.75. Number 3, State of Texas, the Baldwin Waste Oil Settlement installment in the amount of $58,334. Item number 4, SUMA, which is the second installment on our port feasibility study in the amount of $33,000. Number 5, Transmontane Terminals LP, lease rental rebate, $75,674.60. Item C, approval of the following leases. Item 1, ESCO Marine, Inc., first refusal. Item 2, X-Tex Investments, Inc., new lease. Item 3, Deep South Tex Terminal LP amendment. Item 4, Una Excel Chemical Solutions LLC release. Item 5, ACP Valley Limited doing business as South Tex Concrete new lease. Item 6, South Tex Concrete Inc. release.
I just need to object to item B4, Mr. Chairman, 4B4. Take that separately.
SUMA? Okay. Make that noted.
I'll make the motion
Okay, we
for
have-
everything except B4, I guess.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make a motion for B4, which would be Suma Sinergia.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table by Commissioner Cristiano, seconded by Commissioner De Los Santos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Nothing is opposed.
Yes.
Item number 5, consider an action on adoption of resolution expressing the board's appreciation to Donna Emard for her services as interim port director.
I wanted to take this opportunity. No, sincerely, I wanted to take this opportunity to express our thanks to Donna for once again coming to bat for the port and doing such an exceptional job and the performance that was done over the past few months. And it was exceptional. We've accomplished major tasks and we're still moving forward. And wanted to read this resolution, same one that was done the last time when Commissioner Zavaleta was the chairman. A resolution of the Board of Navigation and Canal Commissioners of the Brownsville Navigation District of Cameron County, Texas, in honor of Ms. Donna Emard. Whereas Donna Emard has served the Port of Brownsville in community in many capacities during her 7 years with the Brownsville Navigation District. And whereas Donna Emard has provided outstanding performance and commitment to the Port of Brownsville staff during a time of needed guidance and leadership. And whereas Donna Emard has twice been called to act as interim port director and has twice served in that capacity with the willingness and distinction. And whereas with the hiring of Eduardo Campirano as our new port director, Donna Emard is ready to resume her vital role as deputy port director. Now therefore be it resolved and ordered by the Board of Commissioners of the Brownsville Navigation District hereby expresses its sincere recognition and appreciation to Donna Emard for her loyal service to the Brownsville Navigation District, the customers of the Port of Brownsville, and the larger Brownsville community. Adopted by the Board of Navigation and Canal Commission of the Brownsville Navigation District of Cameron County, Texas, this 13th day of June 2007.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, on that call. I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second. Okay, we have a motion on the table by Commissioner Masso, seconded by Commissioner Zavaleta. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And here's the plaque, Ms. Emard.
Don't stand up.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully that will be the last time we call.
Hopefully, yes.
Ms. Emard is not able to stand up because she just had her foot operated on, so
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Donna, I just personally want to say, not just as a friend, but also I think you've done an outstanding job, and you really, really deserve all the recognition in the world. And I just want to let the public know that she really has done a great job for us and has kept the port together and running, and she really, really needs the recognition that she's getting.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Item number 6, consider an action to appoint a member to the Cameron County Coastal Task Force Committee.
Chairman, members of the board, good afternoon. Cameron County created a coastal task force, and they are requesting a representative from the community to join the task force. And I'd like to introduce Commissioner Benavides, who will explain a little bit more in detail the purpose and the need for this.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Chairman and Commissioners. I come to you because several months ago we met. I happened to attend a meeting at the Bahia Mar at South Padre Island, where several entities got together, somewhat like the one that we had with the City of Brownsville, the Port, the RMA, regarding our transportation issues and how we decided to get together and approach it as a region. This meeting that I attended was also hosting a historical meeting where South Padre Island, Port Isabel, Laguna Vista, and Laguna Heights got together, and a GLO member was there. And of course, a lot of issues that face our coastal area were discussed. The GLO advised us at that point that maybe it would be something to bring together all the entities that are impacted by our coastal issues and therefore form a task force. The GLO would use this as a tool to guide us in applying for funds as a region and better implement and manage those funds. So therefore, a couple of weeks ago, or 2-3 weeks ago, Commissioners Court formed the task force, and 2 of our members are going to be serving on this task force. We're here tonight to make a presentation to ask you all to join us, and if you consider it and do so, we would like to have a member and an alternate from this board serve on the task force. I understand, I believe South Padre Island has already named their members, and
Laguna Vista has also named the members as well. Last night, a presentation was brought before the town of Laguna Vista, and they also chose 2 members.
I think Port Isabel is going to be addressing the same issue. So therefore, I'd like to ask you all to consider it and hopefully putting all our efforts together. Once we have the task force in full force, of course we would draw up memorandums of understanding and the bylaws, and then prioritize all of our projects that we need to face as a community and as a region. So I appreciate your letting me come before you this evening. One other thing is, I understand that Brazoria County, Matagorda County, Harris County, and Galveston County have also done this already, and they have been able to apply for a larger piece of the pie instead of every entity competing for the funds. And so without us having to fight for a piece of the pie, I think we would be able to do and gain a lot more by coming together. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Benavides.
I'd like to note, Hector and I have been to several of those meetings where this has been kicked around, and Commissioner Benavides is exactly right, and that's the whole purpose of this, is to come together as a region and apply for the coastal community funds as a group and pick the priorities of those projects so that, you know, B&D or the county wouldn't be opposing partners on the funds. It'd be a prioritized for this group, and then if, you know, Cameron County wanted to apply for another project and B&D wanted to apply for another project, it would just give us a better footing to get more money for all of our projects.
I commend everybody that's involved in Commissioner for moving along with this, and I'll go ahead and, if I may, I'll appoint Martin for you to take this role up, being that you're the chairman, and hopefully this will show how serious we are about moving forward with this and trying to help as much as we can.
I'll second that motion.
Are you okay?
Okay, yeah. Okay, we have a motion on the table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carries.
We also need an alternate.
An alternate, and I don't know if you may want that alternate to be like a staff
It could be
member.
staff member,
Yeah.
or it could be
So
a
that
board
way, if,
member.
you're not able to attend the meetings, and the staff member can go as the alternate and report back, and...
Seymour, would...
That's title be
Like
Hector.
Hector.
Hector, would you abide by that? Another title?
The alternate. Yes, motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It is. Motion carries.
Item number 7, consideration and action on proclamation for opposition of the U.S.-Mexican border fence. Commissioner Marshall?
Yes, and I wanted to put this item on the agenda because I've been reading a lot recently about the U.S.-Mexico border fence. I think some of our other local governments have taken this issue up. I know the county addressed this issue. The city, I think the college was looking at it also. And I think it's important to address it and express our views of this issue as a board. I have some issues regarding the border fence. First of all, because federal officials have not really involved the local government in addressing this issue with the border fence. Basically, it was an order that came down from Washington. They didn't sit down with all the communities as to how this fence would affect them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm opposed to the fence. There's other issues such as environmental issues. We have valley refuges and wildlife which can be affected by this fence. We got the Santa Ana Wildlife Refuge and the Sable Palms. There's also serious concern about endangered species such as the ocelot and the jaguarandi. If we build this fence, it's going to cut off access to to water and to their natural habitats on both the U.S. side and the Mexican side. There's other areas where there's been efforts to restore natural habitats. There's been investments of millions of dollars to purchase lands and restore the native brush and plants in those areas. In addition, it also, I think it affects or contradicts some of the federal acts we have already in place, such as the Endangered Species Act, the Federal Water Pollution Control Act, the National Environmental Policy Act. Other issues are water issues. We have local landowners that depend on the water, the river water, to supply their livestock with water for irrigation purposes. Our local irrigation districts pump water from the Rio Grande River, and they supply it to our local farmers in the entire lower Rio Grande Valley, so that's going to affect them. There's land issues such as the one I read about, the university, some of that university property getting cut off. Some of it's going to end up on the Mexican side of the fence, which is outrageous. All of that all of these issues have come because they have not addressed that with us, with the local, with the communities. How is it going to affect us? They have not. We don't know how it's going to impact border trade. How is this going to affect our relationship with our border cities? So for these reasons, I'm opposed to the border fence, and I urge all of the commissioners also to oppose this border fence, and I ask that we approve this proclamation in opposition of the border fence until all these issues have been addressed and we determine how this fence is going to affect us.
I just want to say that, I thank you for being a leader and an advocate on this. I think it's important for the leaders of this community to really come out and be vocal on this issue. I think we live in this area last time I looked at the geography, Washington, D.C. is nowhere near the Mexican border, and they do not know the issues and what we live through every day. Matter of fact, I have no inkling of what the fence is going to look like, and I wouldn't want to be going by the river and seeing this ugly link fence, or I don't even know what they're proposing. And I just think that it's something that we have to be vocal about. I think something that we all have to stick together with, and I thank you, Commissioner Masso, for being a leader on this.
Let me just say something. I don't think I've heard the word security mentioned, and this is an initiative of the Department of Homeland Security. We at the port on the border have a special obligation to ensure security, to ensure that our channel is secure, to ensure that the port is secure. And I want to ask Chief Gavito, have you been consulted in the language of this proclamation? And if so, what is your opinion as Chief of Security would be the effect on security at the port were we to build this wall or not?
Well, I look at it two different ways. One, in law enforcement, being down here for 35 years, I've seen all different kind of ways to stop illegal aliens from coming across. We've had the military, we've had Border Patrol, we've had everything. A fence is not going to stop them.
It's never been tried.
Well, it's never been tried, but putting up a fence, all you're going to do is jump over the fence. I mean, you're still going to come over the fence and come. The fence will not stop drugs, and it will not stop. When you have military, when you have Border Patrol, a mile apart on the river, it doesn't stop them then. So, it's going to slow them down at the beginning until they figure out the way to come in, and then they'll come in. In California, what do? They dig the tunnels right underneath it. I think the value and what Mr. Massa talks about outweighs what it would do for us here in the port security-wise. We've had property on the river right there in that location towards the river since 1833, and we still own property on the river. It's like buying a lot with a resaca and then telling you tomorrow you don't have a resaca anymore. The value of the property is going to be gone. Looking at it from the standpoint of having property and living on the river, my great-grandfather all the way through. So I think that outweighs how it can really affect us here in the port. The illegal aliens we get here in the port come in from cigar boats, that they come in around the mouth. They come in to Southside Route and down the channel. There's a lot of different ways they come in, not only just by swimming at that point there. We have a checkpoint and a lot of Border Patrol from Highway 4, and which is cut down
I guess what I'm asking you, Chief, and I think you've answered my question, is as a career law enforcement officer, as the Chief of Security at this port, given that we would be passing this proclamation, I think we should know its effect at the port. Your expert opinion is that it would not, that passing this proclamation would not impair our security detail, and erecting a wall would not necessarily enhance it. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Second, Commissioner. I'll second. I'd also just like to add and recap on this. I appreciate what Commissioner Moss was trying to do, and I embrace the idea that we don't need to have a fence, especially from the port's perspective. I feel that it would harm the relations that we've tried to foster over the years to try to build up the business, not only from Brownsville, but you look at the whole border area of the state of Texas, it's going to hurt it instead of enhance it. From that perspective, I just wanted to say that. So we have a motion on the table, seconded by Commissioner...
I made the motion,
Yes.
I think...
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. But Mr. Chairman, on the other hand, let's be real clear. We just got through celebrating a security grant from Homeland Security. We have been an exemplary port when it comes to security. We must continue to be at the forefront nationally in terms of maintaining our security. And if, despite this proclamation, if this fence or a virtual fence is ordered to be built, the folks in Washington should know that we stand ready to cooperate in any way possible, because we do have a special duty. There's been a lot of talk about dirty bombs coming in through major channels, and we can't be oblivious to the danger that our community may be exposed to if we're not careful here at the port. So I agree with the sentiment, and I think we're all of one mind on it, but on the other hand, we have to be aware that we have an enemy that has already attacked us and has vowed to attack us again. So let's just be aware of that. I think we're all on the same page on that.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, we have a motion on the table by Commissioner Cristiano, seconded by Commissioner Mazo.
No.
I believe Roy did.
Either one.
Mr. De Los Santos, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 8, consider an action on contract number 3492 with Southern Metal Export Company to include taking action to terminate this lease due to default and authorizing the staff to institute eviction proceedings if required.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Armando Cortez with Southern Metal came in yesterday and brought in a post-dated check for $2,010 to cover rent from November 1, 2006 through April 30th, 2007. He also promised to come in and pay next month another $2,010. There's also service charges of $311.42. Mr. Cortez is asking the board's consent to approve of receiving this post-dated check and then bringing his account current by next month. He last paid November 15, 2006, the amount of $2,010. That was for May 1, 2006 through October 31, 2006. And just for your information.
Any comments?
If I could just make a recommendation that we vote to go ahead and terminate this, and then we have a meeting on the 27th, and if the check is cleared and he has brought us current by that time, then the board could reconsider his lease at that time. If it.
What's the date on the check?
The date is the 20th, next Wednesday.
And is that going to bring him up to date?
No.
No? That's just...
His current balance is $4,331.42.
And he's paying 2010.
And he's paying 2010.
Okay, 2010.
So by the 27th, he can bring us totally current. Then you at that time could reinstate his lease if that was what the board wanted to do.
Why don't we just wait till then and take it up then?
Table it for now?
Table it for now and take it up at that time.
My understanding is that when you're not supposed to post-date checks. I think that's against the law. I'm not sure.
I don't know about that one.
At the bank, yeah, you're not supposed to write checks out ahead of time.
My point being that, he hasn't paid us since November of last year, so, he had plenty of opportunity, and it's not really fair for all our other lessees who pay their lease on time. And
my only take, there's two sides to this story, and obviously it's they haven't paid their lease, which is obviously, and we can all agree, is wrong. And the other side is, the fact that he came in and gave a check, he's showing goodwill that he's trying. It's better than what a lot of other people would do, which they probably wouldn't even show up. I can go either way on this. I think I lean more towards the fence of going ahead, being that he brought in the check, waiting until the next meeting, and then I agree with Commissioner Mazo.
If we just kind of reinstate it, if he's able to come up current, if he's not, then we can terminate it at that time. So I'll move to table this item to the next meeting.
Any more comments on that?
We're going to be sure that he is going to have to be current. If not, we can...
Yes.
Okay.
Good enough. We have a motion on the table, seconded by Commissioner Cristiano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tabled.
item number 9, consider an action on contract number 3493 with Choppa Shrimp Trawlers, Inc. to include taking action to terminate this lease due to default and authorizing the staff to institute eviction proceedings if required.
Mr. Chapa came in yesterday and talked to accounting. Debbie asked me to present this item for her. As you heard, Mr. Chapa was here and presented his case to you. He did have a special agreement that was made in April, and he was unable to keep it because, like he said, his boats were not out. So he had promised to pay $500 on June the 15th, and then on June the 26th, another $1,500, and then July the 9th, another $1,500. He currently pays $434 a month on his rent, and he has a note for a building for $500, so his monthly payment is $934. So it's the board's decision to accept Mr. Chapa, to wait for him until his boats come in, or
His boats were coming in.
Mr. Chapa. Go ahead.
When were the boats coming in?
I should have one coming in, maybe by by Monday, in about 14 days.
Okay.
And then the next one should be here by maybe by July 4th, 5th of July.
What's the balance be?
Mr. Chapa's balance is $5,707.84.
And Mr. Chapa, are you going to be able to be current when the boat comes in?
Yes, sir.
The first boat, or you're going to have to wait till the second boat to get current?
No, sir, for the second boat.
So how much would you be bringing in on the first boat?
On the first one, I'll be bringing in First, I'm going to bring, if I can, I'll bring in $500 on the 15th, and then on the first boat, $1,500, and the second, $1,500.
And that would be current?
No, his monthly payments are $934.
Monthly.
Monthly.
I think we need to get current those 14 days, or whatever day you're saying. I think you need to be current, just like the other gentleman's going to have to be current. If you're not current, you're not going to do it, because you've come before us about 3 times already.
Well, the last time I wanted to bid, Mr. Los Santos, and I wasn't awarded with it. Everybody else got awarded. I didn't. That's why I had to pay $10,000. And it just went out the window, and I didn't say nothing.
But you came before the board, and you said you were not going to have any problems anymore, that you were going to take care of your things, and you weren't going to be back with us again.
Well, I understand,
Yeah.
I do understand.
And we have a lot of people that do pay their rent, so we need to watch out for that too. And I think everybody needs to get aboard on this. I recommend if when his boat comes in, he pays what's due. Do not terminate.
Well, let's table the item and see if you can come up current at the next, or if not, let's see what you can come up with. And
Our next meeting, I believe, is the 27th, correct?
27th, it's like in a couple of weeks.
Which your boat should be here by then.
With July?
June.
Well, no, sir. I said one of them would be it. The other would be by July 5th.
On June the 26th, you're going to pay the $1,500, and we will have the meeting on the 27th.
And he said he was only going to pay $500.
500.
How much does he owe?
He owes $5707. Mr. Chapa, his last payment was February the 2nd, 2007. And he paid the month of November and December of 2006. And we have not received the payment since then.
I think by when your first boat comes in, I think you at least need to pay at least half of what you owe, and on the second boat, the remainder.
Sure.
I mean, just to be fair, I want, everything you're making. I know it's hard times, but there is a feeling that I agree with Mr. Los Santos that, we can't just, let our leases be passed due.
Well, just the only thing that bothers me is it seems like I'm always the only one here, and I know for a fact, the other leases owe money also. That's what the only thing, it seems I'm just being singled out.
That's what I was going to ask you, Mr. Chapa, without naming any names, and I don't want you to name any names. Do you know that there are other
Yes, sir.
tenants in the shrimp
Yes, sir,
and
I do
fishing
know.
harbor that are behind?
Yes, sir.
How do you know that? Because they've told you?
Yes.
And
You
we,
feel like you're being singled out?
Well, it seems like I was the only one here. And don't get me wrong, I've tried, like I said, I talked to the judge and with...
You don't deny that you owe the money. You don't deny that you owe the money.
Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah, you're just trying to make arrangements to
You're
pay
right.
it.
And unfortunately, like I talked to Ms. Duke, and she was very helpful, but unfortunately, like I said, the deal didn't go through what I expected, and they told me they just can help me out. So I tried coming here again, trying to see, and they told me what it was going to be presented to the board. So we're going to take it from there.
Debbie's not here to answer whether or
no,
not...
but I can tell you, I mean, the process that we go through is everybody, we have a monthly accounting report that comes out, and actually it comes out every week. And we send letters to everyone that's 30 days past due. A lot of our leases pay monthly, they pay, semi-annually, they pay quarterly. So depending on how your payment schedule is, but a letter goes out to every one of those people, and then we give those people the opportunity to come in and to try to make arrangements with us, which Mr. Chapa did. But if you don't go by the terms of the agreement that you made, I mean, he came in and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then he didn't meet those terms of the agreement, then we send him another letter saying, okay, you didn't meet those terms, we're going to give you we give you 30 days to bring your account current, or we're going to place you on the board meeting. And then, so you got that. So, I mean, this is about a 90-day process that we go through, and you've received several letters giving you opportunities to come in and just pay us something. And we give everyone that opportunity.
Something, they just don't tell me, bring me something. I mean, I can bring $200. But it does, or something that I can come up with.
Well, Mr. Chapa, when you make those arrangements with Debbie, you're the one that dictates what you're going to be able to pay.
And they tell me, no, you have to be more. I mean, I understand.
She didn't tell you that.
Unfortunately, okay.
Well, she's not here to answer for that, so that alone requires that we table action on this.
Rosie's here. She's the one that deals with them.
Well, but
Rosie?
she's not the one that he's dealing with.
Yes, she is.
You're dealing with Debbie. You're dealing with Debbie.
I'm sorry, but she wasn't present.
Yeah.
It was Rosie. I mean, Ms. Duke, I interviewed Rosie too. And yesterday I talked to her. That's when she told me that I had to come present. It was already presented to the board.
Without giving you a more third degree, by the 27th, would you have half of what you owe?
Yes, sir.
I move the table. I move the table.
2,500.
Okay.
I move the table to the 27th.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion on the table that Commissioner Saulette, seconded by Commissioner Masso. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 10, consider an action on assignments, negotiations, easements, subleases, and contracts in general. 1, Texas Marine Ventures, Inc., authority to negotiate.
Texas Marine Ventures is requesting to terminate B&D contract 3498, which was the old Patty's Taco Stand. They have since moved the taco stand across the street and clean out the site and asking to terminate this contract. I'm asking the board's consent to terminate.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead.
Item 2, Texas Marine Ventures, Inc., authority to negotiate.
Texas Marine Ventures is requesting to change their name of the 2 other leases they have. One is a fishing harbor and one outside in the Turning Basin to Texas Longhorn Shrimp Company. This is their DBA, and now they just like to change both leases. So I'm asking the board to give me authority to go ahead and make the change of the name.
Is it just the same folks, they're just
It's the same
changing?
principal, yes, the same owner.
But is it a new or a different corporation, or is it just a...
It's a different corporation, but it's the same...
This is actually an assignment of the lease
Okay.
to a different corporation. No, it's not a name change.
It's not, it's the same principle, so
Yeah, but...
assignment of lease.
Everything current?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have a motion, gentlemen?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3, International Shipbreaking Limited, LLC, Rio Grande Shredding, LLC, authority to negotiate.
International Shipbreaking is requesting a release of their lease, contract 3492, and that we prepare a new lease to Rio Grande Shredding LLC, newly formed for the purpose of recycling and scrap handling facility that will include their mega shredder and a dock to handle materials to be processed. That site is situated in this area, right here.
Is that a new site, or is that the site
This
they've
is
been?
their new, they have these two areas, and they have at least another 26 acres, and that is what they want to change the name to Rio Grande Shredding.
That's not where Bay Bridge would like to locate?
No,
those,
sir.
is it?
Bay
Okay.
Bridge is from that point
Okay.
on.
They already have that lease there.
Yes, sir.
They're occupying that space now.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries.
Item number 4, Liquid Transporters, Inc., Deep South Tex Terminals LP, authority to negotiate.
Liquid Transporters, situated in this area, is selling their improvements to Deep South Tex Terminal, and they're requesting a release of their lease subject to the board approving of a new lease to Deep South Tex Terminal for the purpose of liquid tank terminal. And I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate a new lease to Deep South Tex and to prepare a release to Liquid Transporters.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5, Gulf Shrimp Fuel, Inc., authority to negotiate.
Shrimp Fuel, B&D contract 3044 has expired at the Fishing Harbor, and they're asking for a new lease. They're into diesel sales, and I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate a new lease.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, Leela May Milford Trust, authority to negotiate.
Lita Mae Trust, Milford Trust, is requesting to increase their premises under contract 3591 for the purpose of storage and rail materials and steel fabrication. They're situated right here off of Garza Road, and I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate an amendment to increase their acreage.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, Border Financial Services, Inc., doing business as Amex, authority to negotiate.
Border Financial Services, Inc., DBA Amex, is requesting to lease a site, the old Alamo Fireworks that they're giving up. It's for money services, like a money exchange house, money orders and all that goes on in a money exchange house. And I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate.
Where is
Where would
that
that be
property?
located at?
Right next to the water mill.
By the
And next
water
to the
plant.
fire department.
Oh, okay.
Where?
Right here next to the fire
Fire
department.
Fire station.
It's
Where they did that
clearing needed here. A lot of the truck drivers need to,
Is it,
money orders or money exchange. I'll show you.
is there a building?
No.
They have their own building, like a money
Portable
exchange,
building.
Probably affordable.
And will it cause any traffic,
We do have over 2
Congestion.
acres there, and we will express that to them, that they need to have enough parking to get the trucks off from the road and into their site. They know that.
yeah, because it's a very congested area.
About an
There's
acre
traffic
and a
going
half.
through.
About an acre and a half.
That's gonna leave us a half an acre.
Yes.
Is that gonna be usable?
Yes, we do have a road, the road that leads to the substation, right there, the PUB substation. We do have a road that leads to the back, so that we will be able to, we still have all this land back here in the back, but we do have a side road there. We will make sure that it's not landlocked.
Well, and that it's large enough to where you can do
And
something
that it's
with
large
it.
enough, yes.
Otherwise, they should take the whole thing.
Right,
It's an acre and a half.
They're taking an acre and a half and they're leaving half an acre out there.
right.
But we do need that to get access to the,
No.
No, we have
We
access.
already have that right away.
okay.
The thing is, they're gonna need more parking.
Well, those-
I'm concerned, 'cause
I think we should make them take the 2 acres.
With the tractor rigs.
The total acres that I can present that to them, that they'll have to take all of the area to make adequate parking for it.
I'd rather than have a little bit more extra space so those trucks can maneuver than not enough space and then we have a problem.
I wouldn't like.
All right, because they'll probably be using it to turn all the way and come out that road
Turn around and
anyway.
come out,
Or
yeah.
go down that road and come back to the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can do that, half an extra.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We want to table this and...
Do you need to table it or just?
No, she's just asking for
That's already
Okay.
negotiated, so
Okay,
we'll just
that's
ask
fine.
her to negotiate for the entire...
Okay,
I'll-
we have a
I'll make the
motion.
motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 8, Bulk and Packaging Logistics LLC subordination.
Bulk and Packaging Logistics LLC contract 3599 is requesting the board's consent to subordinate to in favor of First National Bank for a loan of $1,100,000, which they'll use for construction improvements for the property and a separate loan to purchase equipment and machinery. Mr. Renfro just barely had time today to review it. He found some minor changes that need to be made. The account is current, and if the board will consent to that subordination with the changes Mr. Renfro will recommend,
I'm not sure I would characterize them as minor, but
well,
I'll make the motion subject to
Changes.
Mr. Renfro.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 9, Organic Miracle Inc., authority to negotiate.
Organic Miracle Inc. is requesting to lease the 2 separate tracts between Intercoastal, here, there's a tract of land here, vacant, and 20 acres across the street for the purpose of a fertilizer operation. And I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate those 2 tracts for this company.
And they want to, these next to some,
Across the street here,
Is that clear?
Not in your, here, yeah.
That's part of the whole form of that.
No, not here, Hector. In this area, we have all of this land available, 20 acres here.
why do they want, why don't they take all of that up, and why do they want part of over here where there's already some, what is there right there?
Okay,
Where's
there is the old PMEX, Intercoastal is here, and over here is Port Brownsville Recycling. There is an empty lot here, and so that's why they want to lease that.
So is there any of our tenants, our oil producer that deal with oil and all of that right on there?
No. This old plant here is shut down. It has been for many years, and he is also negotiating with the owner of that to purchase that facility. That's in the works. Probably should be ready in the next meeting. So in the meantime, he wants to get going. He is bringing 3 of his operations from Mexico to the Port of Brownsville, and he'd like to get started.
has anybody talked to Transmontane?
About? Transmontane is not anywhere near.
I'm concerned about any...
Transmontane is not, Transmontane is over here.
Right there.
And this site is here.
And they're going to buy the next one. It's right next to it.
This is Intercoastal, and this is the area that's between the 2 sites. Nancy is here.
I think before we agree to it, I think we need to check with Transmontane, given that how close they're going to be to Transmontane there, and it could pose some problems, you know, given their operation and next to, you know, maybe oil storage. I see, I have some concerns.
Yeah, Kevin was here a
He
minute
was
ago.
here. He must have left.
See it as a problem, B?
I don't see this problem. Mr. Lopez might have some comments. Can fertilizer and liquid products, you know, be...
Make a boom?
You know?
Make a boom?
Yeah.
Can we have a fireworks display?
Both are probably involved, they can be,
Yeah,
but as far as the land use is concerned,
Right.
obviously, we have a section of the former Valley Split that I'm not too sure when that was closed, the weather conditions of that sort are, and you can see the outline.
Yeah.
I do know that I'm currently working with TransMontaigne on extending a pipeline that will be running basically, they're trying to connect their facilities, and they are proposing to run a pipeline in this area here, and then cut them back to their terminal here.
That has
So
nothing to do with the site then.
Well, it
Yeah.
depends
Because
where the 20 acres, I'm not sure how far the 20 acres would extend. Their pipeline will be like this, sir, and then cut in through here. Like this.
Right, but the proposed lease site is right here.
No, and then on top also.
Oh, plus this one. This one I'm not sure.
Okay.
But on this side, I do know that I'm working with customers.
I think we just have to do our due diligence of making sure that we don't create a problem. And I think it would just be the prudent thing to do is to have Mr. Lopez and TransMontaigne and B get together and make sure that that is not a problem. I mean, the last thing I want to do is want to have fireworks.
It's not that we're opposed to it, maybe that's, not the best location for it, but
Do they want both sites at the same time? Do they need
Yes,
both
sir.
at the same time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
let's just check to make sure that's not gonna be a problem, because, I hear fertilizer and I see a problem.
How much property are they proposing to?
20 acres on the
20
north,
acres.
Yeah.
20 acres here, and this acreage, because they're negotiating to purchase this plant here that has a rail, because they need the rail, to tie into our oil docks, to bring in product via water. So,
Maybe we can have them, come in our next meeting so that they can talk to us and hear from them?
Just
See what they
have Hector meet with them, and it'll be easier than
In their negotiation, they can,
Okay.
meet
well,
with them,
as long as
and then as long as you feel comfortable and you let us know and make sure that TransMontaigne feels comfortable, I think I'll feel comfortable.
If they feel they need to come in and come in and talk to us, they're more than welcome.
yes. They're talking about moving
Okay.
a lot of product to the port.
Oh, we want them to come. So don't get me
yeah.
don't get me wrong. This is not a I don't want you to come.
Yeah.
This is for your protection and the port's protection and the community's protection. Let's just make sure that there's nothing. Let's not start moving the wheels and then find out that there's a problem. Let's just make sure that's the right property for them. We want them to come. Let them know that we want them to
Yes.
come.
We're just a little concerned.
Okay.
Just a little.
So, am I going to get authority to negotiate so we can proceed talking to them?
Yeah.
Yes, so yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 11, adjourning to executive session.
Okay, 6:30, adjourning to